Good evening, everyone. My name is Precious, and I'm here to share with you my Go experience. So, I was an assistant for many years, and I never thought of becoming a pastor's wife. I never wanted the altar. So, I always said no to every altar calling because I had plans for my life. There are certain things that I wanted to do. I wanted a quiet life. I was very specific about what I wanted. I didn't see myself traveling, meeting new people, and doing everything that people on the altar they do. So there came a time in my life when things were just not going well. I tried my best in my love life. I tried my best at work. I tried everything, but things were not going well. And then I had to make a prayer to God to show me what is it that I was doing wrong. Okay, after that, there was a meeting about doing the will of God. And I said to myself, my Father, I want to do your will. And that moment in my head, at the back of my head, I was like, please, your will cannot be the altar. But when I did that prayer, things started really going well in my life. I had a great job and things were really promising. But now I had said that I want to do the will of God. But the will of God was the altar. So what I had to do, there was a time where I had to really pray and say, my Father, I'm surrendering my plans, my opinions, my everything that I think I know, my intelligence, and I'm putting it on the altar. If the altar is where you want me to be, then that's where I want to go. Because now things were going well, but I was still not satisfied. I felt like something else was missing. So internally, that is when my goal started. I said yes to God and I surrendered everything that I know on the altar. Now it came again when the goal, it had to happen physically for me to say, I'm going in front of the altar and I'm saying, here I am, Lord.
Now that you surrendered everything on the altar and the goal happened inside of you, as you said, how was the conflict inside of you between what you wanted and what God wanted for you? Between your will and God's will for your life?
So in the beginning, I had a lot of conflicts before I said yes internally. Because on the altar, you're not sure how your life you're going to live. You fully trust in God. And that is what something that was missing. So when I said yes, that is when I fully trusted in God. So me trusting in God doesn't mean that I stopped thinking, but it means that I put God's plans above my own understanding. Immediately after I said yes to God, like things, they moved really fast. It's like God was saying, I've been waiting for you. So when it comes to marriage, I had a list of what I wanted, a clear understanding of what I wanted. I had my own preference. And there's one thing that was not on that list, something that I didn't even think about. It was marrying someone who was divorced. Let's be real, how many people they have that on their list? I'm pretty sure that not many people. So when I was introduced to my husband, in the beginning I was like, I had a lot of questions, but because of I had already took a step of saying yes to God internally, so that it was not difficult for me to say yes physically, even when it comes to marriage. I had a clear understanding that this was the will of God. The confirmation came when I started speaking to him, getting to know him, that this was the man of God. So I had to take my list and put it aside and take what God was giving to me.
Your exterior life, how they react, your family, your friends, how they react, and how their reaction impact you.
After saying yes to God, saying yes to my goal, it was not all roses. Only my mother was very supportive, but the rest of my family members, they did not understand. The reaction was just negative. There was a lot of talks, bad things that were said to my mother. So there was a lot of negative things that happened at work. They could not believe that how am I resigning to a life that I don't know how it's going to be? So at work, they did everything that they could to make me to stay, giving me a better offer. It was tempting, but because of I had already decided, I did overcome all of that. I think there was a point where just before getting married, my dad said to my mom that he wants a divorce because of the decision that I had made. So that did not deter me, like to say, oh, maybe this is a bad thing. No, I just said to my mother, if that's what he wants, that's what he wants. But I continued with the plan that God had for me. And funny enough, after getting married, things, they just became better. You know, my dad had a turnaround, my brother had a turnaround. They are all now supportive. Now I'm regarded as a role model. So at the beginning, when you say yes to God, you will receive a lot of negative reaction, negative things that people will say. But because of trusting in God, you continue, and eventually people will have a turnaround. And even if they don't do that turnaround, but you will be in peace because you are doing the will of God. So when all of those things that were happening, I was at peace because I knew for certain that this was the will of God. You know, if I didn't say yes to God, if I stayed in my safety net of this is my job, this is what I want to achieve, and this is what I'm going to do, I would have missed God's blessing. I'm married now to a man of God, and we have a blessed marriage. And both of us, we are doing the will of God, which is the greatest blessing ever. I don't think this peace, actually not, I don't think, I know that this peace that I have right now, I was not going to have it if I didn't say yes to God. So if you are there, you are conflicted, you don't know whether you want to do the work of God or you don't want to do the work of God, surrender everything in the hands of God. Surrender your intelligence, because it's easy for us to surrender, to say, my Father, I'm surrendering my life. And then we keep our intelligence, we keep our understanding. So why don't you just surrender your understanding and your intelligence to God and see what happens after? So this is what I wanted to share with you tonight. God bless you.